Um, so so recently, I've actually been getting into an old hobby of mine, which is video gaming. Um, oh, there's so much to talk about with gaming. So, ooh, I don't know, because gaming was like a really big part of my history growing up. Like, I remember very distinctly like holding on to a Sega Genesis game controller, and that was just like, wow, this is something new. This is something exciting. That's something I can do, you know, at home. So I wanted to kind of just go through a history of what I've experienced in different gaming eras. So like I said, I started with Sega. First game was Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, run around, collect the rings, save the animals, defeat Eggman, all that good stuff. Um, I want to say that's about the only. I mean, like I played other games on Sega, but like that was like the only game I really liked. Um, and then that's when I got into PlayStation. Actually, no. Before I got into PlayStation, I had a Game Boy Pocket. I had the Pokemon Edition one. I know I begged my mom. I was like, "Mom, I really want this one." And then like, she worked at Sears, I think, and she kind of had it in because she was like, "Well, if they come in the store, I'll let you know." So she came in and she got it for me, and like I played with that thing like everywhere. Like I would not put that thing down. It was just like it was so fun. It was like I haven't. It was kind of like again like I have a game, I can take it with me, and that's when I really got invested in Pokemon because the show was out, the cards, and then like I was like I can play this and actually train them like for real like on this game, and that was like a game changer for me. No, that wasn't a pun, but it turned into one. That was like really like a pivotal moment for me to be like, wow, this is, life is pretty fun. Like you can just kind of take this forever and just have fun with it. Play like definitely a lot of Pokemon. Red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal. Like it was just if it involved Pokemon and the Game Boy, I had it. And then like I would have the lamp so I could like read in the play the games in the dark and just it was, man, a great time. Great time, great time, great time. What else did I? Oh yeah, so then PlayStation. PlayStation was like the action era. Like everything was more 3D. I mean, new titles, new genres. They had more mature games. They had games for the younger audience. Just that was like a big pivotal point for gaming. Oh, my top games for PlayStation. I would say definitely Spyro, Crash, but they're made from the same company. Um, what else did I play on PlayStation? Tekken. Oh, I used to love Tekken. Tekken was, man. Between Tekken, Crash, Spyro, like, and I remember because if you didn't have a memory card, right, you had to save like game data back then. It wasn't just automatic. You had to like get a card, stick it into the machine, the gaming console, and then like you had to actually save it, right? And you only get like so many games on one card, so you had to buy another one. Pick and choose which game you wanted, for the data, and then it, we've come a long way. Like now we're just downloading games to the actual console, and it's like it's fine. Um, I would say I played Tekken a lot, but Tekken is kind of more or less one dimensional. Like you're basically just fighting. But they did have mini games. Like they had bowling. They have Tekken Ball was like volleyball on the beach, and so it had variety. And they kept changing characters and they kept adding to the storyline. Um, Spyro was interesting. I mean, like you're a dragon, like spit fire and fly around, but you couldn't fly for long unless you had a power up and all that fun stuff. What other games did I play on PlayStation? Man, what were your guys' favorite PlayStation games? Like, or like genre? Like, mine was always like adventure and action and fighting. Some racing, not a lot of racing, but I do love playing Mario Kart on the DS. Like, that is one. Like, if I was to pick a racing game, it'd be Mario Kart. I think anything with like a item trap, like you can use items and attack other drivers so you can win, which sounds terrible, but I live in Milwaukee, so it's pretty much you pretty much live in New Gotham. Anyway, um, No, Milwaukee's great though. It's I love it. I got a show. You know, I got my little tea leaves listening. I get to play video games and then talk about it. You know, life's not bad. I think that's about it. I mean, there was a few other racing games. I remember Rugrats had a racing game or an action game. I remember oh, Hydro Thunder, like the arcade game they used to have. You know, in movie theaters and stuff, and you would like sit on it. And it would move from side to side, and the fan, and the boosters and stuff. Oh, that game was fun. They had like another version of it too. It was Hydro Thunder, and then like another version, but yeah. That I remember this one game. It was weird because it was like post-apocalyptic, right? I think it was called. Oh, I just remember that game. Wow, big brain moment. I think it was called Rogue Riders. Like, and it was weird because like, okay, so like I guess something happened to the world, right? And like certain people like survived, so but they had to like race and not like they had to blow up. It was like a melee game, right? So like you were in cars, but then you had like these power ups, and then like you could, you know, blow each other, and you had to get they're not hostages, but like they were people like paying fares for like the for a ride, and you know you got them, you got points, and then you know it's kind of like the last one standing type of deal. But it was that was an interesting game because it was just like wow. I don't think I ever like beat it. I just played up to a certain level and then just didn't care after that. I think that's about it for PlayStation games, or at least for PlayStation One. You got like two, three, P. You know, we got up there. We got some time still. Um, but after the PlayStation era, it definitely got into my Nintendo 64. And like for me, I kind of like they were still selling them, right? Like I got the Pikachu edition one because again, I was love Pokemon like that. um, and it was kind of like if they made it in Pokemon, like I had to have it. Like okay, well I want that one. Like that's give it to me. Like but it hasn't released yet. That's fine, but I still want it. Like what are you not? Which was not grasping. Um, yeah. So after that, so the first game I played on that ever was Hey You Pikachu. So it came with a microphone and you had to talk to it. You could tell it to do different attacks. Go look here, just kind of like a pet almost, right? Which again, like that's fun. And they had it to the point. Was it that? No, it was on GameCube. Um, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it was interesting. You would do like little tasks like pick stuff out the garden and do this and do that, but it was fun. But with getting a Nintendo 64 brought Smash Brothers, and that was I mean because and honestly Smash Brothers is such a good game because if you don't know about certain characters in like certain games or games at all, you learn so much about them. Like you kind of it's kind of like like different games in one because you have your character and then they have their special abilities and stay hydrated. That's another thing too. If you're gaming, please stay hydrated. Drink some water. Drink. Put some lime and a little bit of salt and stay hydrated, please, because it's too hot. Please, it is like 90 something degrees outside and it's humid. Stay hydrated. Anyway, but back to Smash Bros. So like, yeah, you get to play as different characters on this backstory. They have trophies. They have different stages, to represent the characters, like where they're from or like significant places and trophies. It's really good. Like it turned me on to like so many different games, like Bayonetta, um, just some different Mario games. You just kind of you just smorgasbord. What else did I play on Nintendo 64? Let's see. I had that Smash Brothers. Trying to think about what else. I remember that's when they introduced. You could. I think that was the first time I saw like a built-in memory card that you could like remove. That wasn't sold separately. Like it was already installed and which was great. So yeah, good on them for that. I know a lot of people, and I'm probably gonna catch flack from the gaming community, but like I've never actually played GoldenEye. I know. Like it looks good. I had a friend once, I think he brought it over and he played, it, and I just watched it. But like I've never actually played it. But like I remember, there's a jetpack. At least I think that's the right one. There's a jetpack, and it can be like a two-person shooter game. I'm trying to remember. That's pretty much about it. I mean, it's James Bond, so I mean, I'm sure he's on a mission, saving the world, detonating or undetonating some bomb, doing something crazy, jumping from buildings. So I never really played that. Oh, Pokemon Stadium, yeah. So that was like, ooh, that was a game changer too. Like that game was really really interesting because it was like they had mini games, and then you could you could import your Pokemon from like your Game Boy. Yeah, so you could stick it in the back. Like there was an adapter you stuck in the back of the controller, and then you would like put the game cartridge in. You could like import your Pokemon from like your game into the your Nintendo 64 and like play in a Pokemon Stadium, and that again was a game changer. Like I don't know, this half this episode might be dedicated to Pokemon, and I'm sorry, but oh yeah, Pokemon Snap, because there was another attachment you could do where it would print, but that was for your Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket. Like you would attach it to it, and like you could print um, stickers, and then like especially with Pokemon Snap, you can like print stickers of the pictures you took, and they had this thing at Blockbuster too. You could print them out. That was an era. I miss when you could go into Toys R Us, which they don't have anymore, which is sad and breaks my heart. Oh, and KB Toys. Just, I used to love toys as a kid. Like they just, I was such a child. Like, oh, I want this toy and I want that toy, and it was great time. I love it. Um, but you could go in and play like different games and stuff, just kind of get a feel for them, and see if you liked them or not. I mean, I think they still do it at some game styles, but I'm not sure. I haven't been in a game style in a while because I've been busy. Life been lifing. But yeah, you could go in, play the game, see if you like it, and just there were just deals back then. It was fun. It was a fun time. Please stay hydrated. Yeah, Pokemon Snap was fun. I think what made it fun for me was it. It's weird because like you're always in competition with yourself in that game. You're always trying to get like your next best shot of like whatever Pokemon in whatever circumstance. Like you can, prompt them to do different things with different actions. So you could, I know at one point if you play the Pokefoot, you can make Pikachu dance on stumps and they shoot off lightning bolts and just all kind of stuff, right? But like like Professor Oak scores your pictures. Say, oh, this, your subject's in the center, or there's multiple of them, or they're doing something special, blah blah blah, and like you just have to keep getting better, more scores. And I think there's a cap. I know that it's weird because like I ran into it one day on YouTube. There's like, um, they people post like their shots of like what they did for it. So like if they like they'll compare pictures like who got the most points or who could have maximized like the most points from this picture or like this subject. And it's intense because like it comes really down like to the second. Like you really have to know your angles, know when they're gonna, because sometimes certain Pokemon only come out in certain conditions at certain times. If you miss them, you miss them, right? So like that, I think if for me, if that was one of your favorite games, then it I don't know. I'm not saying it says something about you, but it's like don't be in competition with yourself all the time, because every picture is good as long as you can see the subject. And if you can't, call it abstract. Just make it beautiful. Make it yours. Just do that. That's your thing. But it was interesting. It was a fun game. That was definitely one of my favorite games too. Um, a non Pokemon game. The Pokemon Stadium 2 was good too. 2 was good too. um, let's see. Then GameCube. I remember my first GameCube game was Pikmin, and I thought it was so fun because like, ooh, a bunch of like they're basically like oddish, right? But they're like different colors, and they've even evolved. Like they have like they start with the primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, and then they added white and purple. I think there's some other ones too, but they had 3 games so far. They were featured on Smash Brothers, so again that's another explanation because I only played the first one, but not the second or third one. So like, oh, this Pikmin does this or this Pikmin does that. Um, so that was my first game. I think my second game might have been either Was it Smash Brothers Melee or it might have been? No, it wasn't Mario Kart Double Dash. It was, I don't know, but those were great games. And then again, they changed things up. So GameCube's a new gaming system. So with Mario Kart Double Dash, you ride with somebody else, and then you can switch off, and certain characters again they have certain powers, and then it makes the game that much more exciting. It was fun. You can taunt people. That's another thing they got in Smash Brothers too. I remember in Smash Bros. Like the old one, you used to get points for like doing certain things. Like if you did a taunt toward the end, or if you use the item, or if you didn't use the item, if you're the first one to hit, just all these different things you would get points for. And it's like, wow, participation trophy in a good way. Like, yeah, you did this, you did that, and you should be celebrated for that. You know, celebrate yourself. What other GameCube game? So that Mario. Oh, Super Mario Sunshine. That was fun. That game used to frustrate me though. I see for me like there are certain games I like and certain games I just won't play. Like I like Super Mario Sunshine, but there were way too many time constraints. Like you had to do this in a certain amount of time at this angle. I'm like, that's a lot of not button mashing. I'll be honest. I like a button mashing game. Like I just got Bayonetta, and it's so fun. Like it's a great time. We'll get to that later, but yeah, like it was you had to do. Yeah, that wasn't for me. It's kind of like I love Resident Evil, right? Like I didn't like it at first because I remember I had someone that got it for me when I first got a PlayStation, and I never knew what it was, right? Because I had never heard of it, so I thought, it said Resident Evil, so I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like, magic and wizards and unicorns, and because they're gonna go fight evil. They're probably really bad residents. They don't, it's like they they don't pay taxes. They litter everywhere. I'm thinking, very fantastical because that's just, I'm I'm a child. That's just how my brain works. I'm a weirdo. Anyway, and that's okay. But no, so like I thought it was that, and so it started off with the intro of the picture of the zombie. And it was Resident Evil too, so like they're already kind of giving you the lore and gore because you already got the first game, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe the unicorns and the wizards and the princesses and mermaids and knights and all that they'll come later. They'll be there. I'm sure they'll be there. No, no, they 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 never arose. The dead did, but no, there was no magic at all. There was no unicorns. There was no rain. There was death, destruction, and chaos, fire, brimstone. Just just no. And like, and I was, and the thing is, I was more disappointed than scared. I think that for like the longest time, I just never cared about anything Resident Evil because I just like it just upset me so bad. Like, what do you what do you mean? There's no magic? What? Just shooting zombies? I don't even know how to shoot. I can't aim. I just and I had my cousins over, and like the one of them knew how to like get everything set up, and then he played it, and I was like, I'll just watch again. I think that's honestly when I started liking watching people play games was there and then on because it's just like this subject better than I do, so I'm gonna let you be great, and I'm gonna enjoy that on all of our behalves. So, but no, now I like love Resident Evil, but like I won't play it because, and it's not because of the previous reason. It's just like there's too much. It's a puzzle game, which I get. Like I get the puzzles, but it's like I have to go back and forth and back and forth. I have to get this item, leave this here. Like especially like the old like traditional ones, like 1, 2, and 0. You have to leave. You can only get to carry so many items. I'm like, no, I want all the items. I want to be invincible. I want infinite ammo. I want to just blaze through this mansion, blaze through this laboratory, blaze through this forest, sewer, wherever you go, because you go to a lot of places. This old mansion, mountains. You go with that franchise. You go around the world and back. It wasn't like fun for me, but I might try with the cheat codes and see where we get. Um, oh yeah, PSP. Oh yeah, that was an era. Because again, it's portable, and now they're like these are like big ticket like games. Like there's I don't know, there might have been Resident Evil for PSP, but I know they had God of War. That was my game. Um, in addition to DS, they were also releasing dating sim games, which were that was my thing. I like that. Oh, and the Sims, I love the Sims. I could talk about the Sims for hours. Um, but back to PSP, like that was like God of War, Brooktown High, Tekken again. That's when I introduced Lily and Dragunov. They were great. I love Lily. Um, what else did I play on there? I remember I played the first Parappa the Rapper game, and it was interesting because again, I'm not good at rhythm games because I mean, they're okay if you know them. My thing is I try to memorize the song if I like it, and I can just play it, so it's not as bad. But yeah, PSP was an era, but it was mostly Bricktown High, Tekken. Played God of War once I beat. I was kind of like, we're good on that. I don't think I ever played Need for Speed before. What's funny? As much as I like fighting games and lore and story, I never really got into Street Fighter, which I think is interesting because there's so much there. Like there's just and they have so many crossovers. So they had a crossover with Tekken, I think at least twice. I know they did Marvel. I don't think they did DC, but they might. But I know Marvel and DC have had games together too, so that's and I play those sometimes, but I don't like I don't like they're not like my main go to unless like I'm in the mood for it. But I love a good Spider-Man game. I don't know. It doesn't matter what Spider-Man game it is. I've enjoyed every single one because I enjoy Spider-Man. He's like my favorite Marvel comic hero. I don't know why. Him and there's so many. I love Storm, of course. Who doesn't? Um, that's a whole other conversation. That's a topic for another day because I'll be all day with that. Let's see. PSP, the Wii was good, but some of the, I like the Wii. Again, another time, we had, your remote. It was wireless. I mean, they already had wireless controllers back then too. They had the what was it called, Wavebird, I think, or Birdwave. It was for the GameCube. I think that was one of the first. It wasn't on the PlayStation. I don't remember, but it was fun. It was an era. You had the motion bar. You could and then see a lot of the time people were using it to get fit. They did the what was it, Wii Fit. They had Wii Sports. They had different avenues of doing stuff without really being too. What's the word I'm looking for? You get. I lost it. Oh well. But no, it was fun. Like it kept people fit. They had to be careful because they had to tell people about spacing and take a break. Because people were getting over exhausted, especially like during the summertime. Like they had a lot of game drops during the summertime, so you just really had to be careful with like not overexerting yourself. Again, staying hydrated, and and just playing safe. Um, I honestly think for the Wii, I used it a lot more as a second computer than games because it had the internet channel, and I would just like go on there and like watch YouTube videos, and then just enjoy like basically like free Wi-Fi from my room because they had an adapter. Again, like Nintendo will always sell you an attachment to do something like yeah, you gotta spend money, but it's fun, and I think the only one's really doing it. So, um, it was specifically for like the DS and the Wii. So you would like plug it into your computer, and it would like create like a Wi-Fi signal for the track and everything, right? And I would just sit there in bed because I like adjusted the monitor bar because again, I just want to flip through, see a few videos, go to bed, and just be done with it. Um, yeah, I would say I use that mostly for internet channel. Let's see, Wii, PS3. Oh, I never mentioned Grand Theft Auto. You know what's funny? I started playing Grand Theft Auto on a computer before I started playing it on consoles. Like I remember we won this pizza party back in elementary school, and then it included like, you know, it was like a Wi-Fi party. Like it was early in in the era of gaming and electronics. So they were like, hey, just come to this place and we'll give you pizza. You can play for like I think we had 4 hours, 6 hours. We had a good amount of time where like you could really sit there and enjoy yourself and play a game, go online, do whatever, right? It was fun. Like I remember server cafes. That was a huge thing. Oh man, an era. Whole other conversation. Um, what was I saying? What was that? Oh yeah, that was about all I used it for. PS3. Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh goodness. Um. Oh man. Yeah, I remember getting a PlayStation 3 for Christmas. Um. Yeah, I played God of War, Tekken. Again, I think Tekken's like every. It's gonna Tekken's gonna be every game system, every PlayStation, every Sony thing. It's gonna be Tekken. That's just how it is. Just like every Nintendo thing's been Pokemon and Mario. Yeah, I would say those two. I mean, they're like the top, moguls for each other for Nintendo. So did you know? And actually, Japan, Pikachu's the national mascot, either for soccer or for the country, because they have it on money. I think there's another country in Asia that has a Pikachu as money too. Um, 3DS was good. Oh man, I got so much more to talk about because 3DS was man. That was. I remember. I think I broke. I don't know how I did it either, but like I've had like at least three 3DSs. I have no idea. Like the first two just broke somehow, some way, and I don't know how. Like they just stopped working one day. Like they called in and just like never showed up. They're like, "Hey, I'm not coming in." Like, okay, we'll see. No, I'm like not coming in ever again. But I would say Smash Brothers for that one, Mario Kart. Oh, but I haven't played Mario Kart 3 yet. I mean 8, not yet. But I have played like the old Mario Kart on my, new 3DS. So, um, that tap screen is something else. I remember this one time. Oh, like, speaking of the DS, like I remember getting Nintendogs, and I remember and it was so crazy. It was an era because like again, I get to play with this. It's fun, and I'm allergic to fur and feathers, so like I wanted, like, oh, I get to have a dog and it'll be fun and I can train it. It'll never grow, blah blah blah, right? And like I remember I called GameStop to see if they had it, or was it Electronic Boutique, whatever, the game store, and they said yeah they had it, and then I went there and they didn't have it, and I left and I cried because I was like, but they said they had it and I really wanted it, but again, teenager mindset, hormones, so precious. I was so darling. I still am. But yeah. Let's see. PS4. I remember I I got so mad at playing. I think it was Tekken 7 because I was playing the story mode and you have to like use your art move to defeat um Akuma and not Akuma, Kuma, and you no, it's Akuma. And you like if you don't do it, then like you don't win. So like I remember I put it in the basement and I forgot about it, and then I just didn't care, and then I did it and I figured it out and I won. But yeah, that's really about it for game. Like I could go on and on. I got stories, all kind of stuff, but you know, save it for another day, another time. I'll have some other people on who also love gaming. You could narrow it down, one game, one genre, um, top three victories. Because sometimes winning a game, bleh. Winning a game is like a victory. Like I finally did it. Yes, it's just pressing a bunch of buttons, but you did it, and that's the important thing. Celebrate the little victories. But thank you so much for tuning in with Talk with King T on WXRWLP Milwaukee 104.1 FM. Like I said, stay hydrated, keep gaming, enjoy yourself. Um, yeah, and just spread love. You guys take it easy. Bye bye.